Lucid For Life.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. This is Lucid For Life.
Hello, peoples.
Mike Kuhn, how you doing, buddy?
I think that was a little weak.
You want to start over?
No, it's fine.
Oh, fuck. We have a lot to talk about today, Mike. We got the void, the scary void, the dark, scary void. Your favorite?
Yes, and there's a lot I want to talk about, actually.
Dream characters.
Some dream character stories.
Thanks to Brent, our buddy Brent.
Yes.
Sent us a
Brent.
little email. He wanted to hear us talk a little bit about those dream characters.
You got ADA.
A lot of people call it ADA for all-day awareness, but we don't do all-day awareness, do we, Mike? What do we do?
No, it's actually more like sporadic awareness. And really, I'm not sure anybody does all-day awareness.
That's
maybe maybe that's the goal, but
right. It's
every
nearly
tutorial,
impossible. Nearly impossible.
It's tough. But every tutorial I've seen is more like describes it as more like a sporadic thing you do once in a while. So I guess we want to know how to do all-day awareness or sporadic awareness.
Well, I think we all can start with reality checks. Reality checks is a good way to start, but it's not a good way to continue, because if you're just doing reality checks all day, you don't really have time. But on the same hand, if you're doing ADA, you can also be doing things like just noticing for anything that's different. For example, believe it or not, it's kind of crazy. Made me think of what I should say in the podcast tonight, but I was mowing my lawn and I seen this squirrel. It was limping. Not just limping, it was kind of crawling on its back, oddly to say, and I noticed right away, and I just obviously felt bad for the little guy, but first thing that popped into my head, Mike, was reality check. This is something out of the ordinary. This is something that you don't see every day,
Right.
an animal struggling. So I did a reality check, and sure enough, I wasn't dreaming, unfortunately. But it's just one of those things. It's you don't see a squirrel crawling on its back every day. So time to do a reality check. I did it. I took care of what I needed to take care of. That's where the ADA or sporadic awareness kicked in, which is good for me.
Yeah, but it's much more than reality checks. That's something that really is not in the tutorials that I've seen, but I think it's an important part of it.
Absolutely.
But really we're focusing on it's like sensory awareness. So you might focus on everything that you can hear or
Yes.
feel or see or even taste, smell, whatever. So it's really just like awareness of your environment and like just soak up every little detail that you can.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, we text each other from time to time, and I'm glad that you do, because you say, I forgot awareness, and it's time to be aware. And I'm sitting there, and, I don't have a task at hand, which if you can stay aware while you're doing multiple tasks, good for you. You're one-upper. But I was sitting there, and I heard the footsteps. I felt the chair behind me. I smelled the wind of the refinery, which is nothing we want to elaborate on. I could feel just the bit of cold that was behind my hands holding my cell phone. There was a little bit of everything. The clink of the fastener that held the flag up in the air that was clinking against the metal. It's those little things, and you want to focus on each one of those and make sure that you're aware of those, hence ADA or all-day awareness. You want to be aware of everything, because we take so much for granted,
Yeah, and when you wrote that text, it was really cool reading it, because it was like a descriptive part in the novel that I was reading. It was really cool.
Thanks.
But yeah, I actually enjoy those few minutes I take out, of my day. Or actually, I'm getting to where I can even like do it while I'm working, but it's a little more difficult. But,
yeah, I was going to say that's talent. because when you're doing one task, it's hard to stay focused on not just that task, but trying to be aware of everything else around you, you know.
Yeah, and that's something that slowly gets easier and easier and easier. But I think if you're just starting out, you should just maybe some tutorials that I've seen suggested was like maybe 5 minutes or 5 times a day,
Yes.
2 minutes at a time. So really, you're just spending like a total of 10 minutes out of your entire day.
Yes.
To start with. So
that's a great start. You know,
yeah.
what I started with, Mike, was I'm going to be walking from the truck to my brake trailer. No matter who I encounter or what I do from my 100-foot journey from the truck to the brake trailer, I'm going to stay aware. I'm going to feel the pavement beneath my feet. I'm going to hear the people, the chatter around me, the trucks, the backup alarms, yada, yada, yada. Until I walk in that door, will I let my guard down. And it's amazing what 100 feet you can lose. I mean, it's nuts.
Know.
And then I walk in the door, and I go, wow, how the hell did I forget awareness that quick? So
I know.
That's so hard to practice. It's so hard.
I've actually been doing the exact same thing, and then I'm going, oh, wait, when did I actually decide to stop doing awareness? Because my mind drifted way off into somewhere else. Yeah, and then I'm like, damn it. You know? But yeah, and then that's a good way to, like, instead of, like, timing yourself, saying, well, when I go from A to B, I'm going to be aware. I mean, if you're like me, you're too lazy to, you know, time it and all that stuff.
Right.
Like me, I forget. So I think a good way to remind yourself would maybe set an alarm. Or maybe if you have like a wristwatch, just turn on the hourly chime, and then, you know, every hour just spend a few seconds, you know, questioning your environment and soaking it all in and all that good stuff.
And you and I, we both get lazy. We get a little... I think I personally seem to dive into it, and I dive into it hard. But then after a while, that pool gets a little chilly, and I seem to get out and not go back in for weeks, you know? And what can we do to stay excited about it? I mean, I think we're helping others get excited about it. You know, we have a podcast. I mean, I'm talking on the podcast, so it gets me excited about it. It makes me want to talk about awareness. It makes me want to stay focused, you know? What can we do to stay into it, Mike?
Well, I think the first thing to remember is not to dive in it so hard, is to slowly build up on it. Because I've totally done that too, and it became like so mentally exhausting because I'm going, okay, I'm just going to do this all fucking day, and I'm going to kick ass and whatever, and like, you know, first quarter of the day, I'm like, fuck this shit, I'm done.
Already.
Yeah. Yeah, so this time, when we decided to do this show, I decided to do it right. You know, I researched it really thoroughly, and I just started real slow, and I've stuck to it. I think it's been maybe 2 or 3 weeks now, and I'm really seeing a big difference in my dreams.
Good. And I have to congratulate you too, man. I tell you what, we text our dreams back and forth quite a bit. I mean, it's off and on, you know. Sometimes we get a little heavy into it. Sometimes we slow down. But I'm telling you, man, the past 3 weeks, you've been killing it. You said, I think it was 2 weeks ago, maybe closer to 3. You said, I'm going to start doing awareness. I'm going to start doing this more, and I'm going to get back into it. You know, even though you've been kicking ass throughout, you know, as long as I've known you. Since you started doing awareness and you got back into it, man, the past 2-3 weeks, crazy, off the hook. Every day it seems like you've been texting me. You know, like, oh yeah, I had 3 lucid dreams last night, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, oh, okay, let's just keep bragging. You know, so, I mean, it's awesome, though. I'm so happy for you, Mike. There's so much that we all can learn from you. It's awesome.
Well, thank you, but I'm not that awesome yet.
You're never going to be happy until you're lucid every
until
minute
I'm
of
one
your
of these 100% fuckers, yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Well,
that's awesome.
You know, a lot of it is my newfound caffeine, wake back to bed supplement.
I love it.
Did I tell you about that?
Oh, God, yeah.
My wife bought some chocolate covered espresso beans, and she didn't like them. So I'm like, fuck yeah, wake back to bed, bitch. And I didn't call her that.
Let's be truthful here. I said sweetheart.
Yeah, babe. No, but anyway, so like I did a wake back to bed, and I was really tired, and I'm like, well, I'm at least gonna do some caffeine and go back to bed. So I just grabbed a handful of the espresso beans and just chewed them down. Went back to bed and did actually a different form of mild, and I was getting lucid off it. But
that's awesome.
Yeah, it seems to be the right dose for me. It's about 15 to 20 beans. But yeah, and if I don't get lucid, I at least have really vivid dreams, so it's cool. But
yeah,
anyway.
and for those of you who don't know, Mike did you start this, Mike? You started a revolution, didn't you, with caffeine?
I wasn't the first one to think of it.
But you seem to pioneer it. You seem to pioneer.
It seemed like not very many people knew about it on Dreamviews,
and
but
now they
on
do.
LD for All, it was like a big deal over there.
If you search for it on Dreamviews, caffeine will come up. You'll see Xanus. Am I saying that right?
Xanos.
Xanos. The X confuses me. Xanus on
Yeah.
Dreamviews. If you search for it, Xanus, Xanous, caffeine will pop up. It'll pop up, and you can go through. It shows the milligrams, how much, when they took it, how long after, and it goes into great detail. And people have gotten really excited about this, and I'm one of them because I had great experiences on it, and I'm sure we've talked about it in previous podcasts, but caffeine is a great supplement, great natural supplement to actually help you become lucid on wake back to beds.
But a word of caution, be careful. Don't take too much, especially if you're sensitive to caffeine, because you will get insomnia.
Oh, yeah.
And that sucks. But you can use that to your advantage, because there's been times on various lucid dreaming supplements that I ended up with some wakefulness, and I just, just kind of tough it out, use that time to meditate, whatever, and
Yes.
you eventually get a good wild or something.
Yes.
But anyway, didn't mean to get off on caffeine again.
Oh, I love getting off on caffeine.
I knew that was coming.
Yeah, he laughed before I even said it, dude.
As soon as it came out of my mouth, I knew it.
Yeah.
Anyway, so all-day awareness, or sporadic awareness, we've actually seen some results in our dreams. I think, at least I know I have.
Oh, yeah.
Even if I haven't gotten lucid, I've noticed, like, there's times in my non-lucid dreams that I'm sitting there doing, like visual awareness. Like, I'm really soaking in the dream detail. Like, one time I was, like, really studying this lady's face. I've been, like, kind of obsessed with faces lately, because in my dreams, they kind of blur out or distort or whatever, and I really wanted to just be able to have that vivid, solid face. But anyway, so I was doing that in my non-lucid dream, and but later when I woke up, I realized, yeah, I was doing 88 in my dream, but I was leaving out the self-awareness part. So that's when I started like really questioning, am I dreaming? Maybe I'll do an RC. Just really start, having that sense of, like, am I dreaming type of thing, instead of just, awareness or sensory awareness, because let's face it, my cats do that, They know every little noise before I even hear it. So.
What the fuck was that?
Yeah. I'm like, oh yeah, somebody's outside. But yeah, I'm just saying, don't forget the self-awareness part of all-day awareness.
Absolutely. Well, you always find yourself in a dream. I mean, it makes a lot of sense. You got to focus on yourself. I mean, not to be one of those guys, but it's all about me. No. But
Yeah.
how
Well,
are you
that
feeling
helps.
right now? How are you feeling right now? Does your stomach hurt? Why?
Right.
What's the
Yeah.
temperature like in the room? Does it need to be changed? What are you hearing? You, me. It's all about you when it comes to dreaming, because that's all it is. Everything that persists in a dream comes from you, your mindset, what you've thought, what you've felt. You're not getting you're getting a lot of external, but it's only you that's accepting those externals. It's only you that are bringing them in and processing them in your brain, and then they float out through your subconscious in your dreams. You just got to bring that conscious in there to help battle your subconscious.
So what about waking life? Have you seen like any positive effects of all-day awareness in your waking life?
Oh God, yeah. You know, we talked about this before, Mike. It's amazing how comforting it is when you don't take your extra senses, not extra, take all your senses for granted. I had a great realization when I was in the shower. My shower has no windows, and when it's dark out and the door's shut, no light gets through there. Turned off the light because I didn't want my son to wake up who was sleeping on our bed. I went in there, shut the door, turned off the light, made sure whatever. That way when my girl came in there into the bathroom, it wouldn't wake up my son. I go in the bathroom and I realize that it is pitch black. I cannot see anything in front of me. You know, I was taking that for granted. Now, after some time, I actually got a little loopy. I got lost inside my 4x4 shower, and it was just nuts. And it made me realize how much I take sight for granted. And when you do these cues, what am I getting at here? The ADA, when you're taking time out to use your senses for awareness, you almost feel more at home or more relaxed because you're taking each individual sense and you're piecing it together, and you're realizing, wow, you know, there's so much more going on around me than I actually realized. You know, if you didn't ask me that day what was going on, I never would have noticed that flagpole tinging, you know, the fastener up against the metal. I wouldn't have realized, you know, that the seat I was sitting on was a little wet or a little damp, you know, from sweating previously,
sweating.
You know.
Mm-hmm.
So it's amazing how much you take for granted, and it makes me feel a lot more comforting when I take the time out to use my senses. So I noticed a lot more in life because when I'm walking around in my yard, or, you know, I notice the subtle changes here or there, you know.
Yeah, I've noticed that too. Like, I just enjoy those moments. It's not like this chore I have to do anymore. It's like something I look forward to really just enjoy being alive. So it might be a little deep, but you know, that's the way it makes you feel.
No, absolutely. And people can take it how they want, man, but it does go deep. It does go deep. I mean, it feels good, man. It feels good.
Yeah, and you know what? I know we've talked about this before in the previous episodes, but it also comes back to those shitty moments in your life where somebody's being a fucking prick. You're in a line at the grocery store and they're pissed off because you accidentally cut in front of them or whatever, and you start to blow up. But then this awareness comes rushing in, and you're like, you know what? Just go in front of me. I don't care. This doesn't matter.
Yes.
You know.
I'm glad you brought that up, Mike.
And it's nice to just be more at peace, you know.
Yeah.
You don't have to get pissed off all the time. Whatever. I have a temper problem.
So do I.
I don't know.
So do I.
Most people find that hard to believe, but
it's young blood that boils easy, Mike.
Yeah, maybe I'm just mellowing out with age. I don't know.
Well, I think I feel the same way too, but ever since I started doing awareness 3 years back, it makes me feel a lot more at peace as well. You just don't take as much for granted, you know.
And I had I think it's pretty a well-known quote from Buddhism, but I like it. The Buddhists say the mind is like a monkey, difficult to control. That's just a brief part of it. It goes on, but that is so true. Like, when you start doing this awareness stuff, you'll realize you're like totally focused on awareness, and then like 10 seconds later you're
gone,
thinking about what you're having for dinner.
Yes.
And you're going, wait, go back, you know. So it takes practice, it really does, but it's like a really cool challenge. And I encourage every lucid dreamer, this is like the very basic thing you should start doing.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And I also notice, like, when I've been really successful, like I have been lately, like, I tend to think, I don't need to do awareness today, I've got this pretty mastered. And then I'll hit a dry spell or whatever, and then I'll go back to the basics. You always gotta have the basics.
See, instantly when you said successful, Mike, I'm thinking successful money-wise or career-wise. When you say successful, you mean lucid dreaming-wise. And
well,
that's why we're
I gave up on the other part of success for now.
And that's why we're lucid for life, baby. That's what we're all trying to achieve. Stay excited about it. Speaking of which, do a reality check. If you're listening to our podcast right now, there is one reason why you're listening, because you are excited about lucid dreaming, and I want you to do a reality check right now. Try and bend your finger back. Try and breathe through your nose when it's plugged. Try it. Count your fingers, And I'm sorry if you're not dreaming right now, but I encourage you to do a reality check. So, Mike, do we have anything else we want to add? I mean, we could go on for days on ADA or sporadic awareness, but do you have anything else you want to add?
I think that was about it for me.
Well, I gotta say, we stayed pretty well on topic there. I'm pretty proud of us. I'm patting myself on the back right now.
We're actually a little bit more prepared this time. At least I am. I got kind of crazy about it.
I love
the past few weeks.
I love ADA. Well, you want to talk about the void or dream characters? Where do you want to go from here, buddy? I want to talk about the void. I got some stuff I want to share.
That sounds good.
All right, cool. Well, Mike, tell them what the void is, because you know more, way more. You were fighting the void forever. Tell them what the void is.
Well, basically, it happens a lot when I try to do some sort of dream control that I'm not quite comfortable with, or it's hard to explain because it's almost like you're on the verge of waking, but you'll be in a lucid dream, everything seems cool, and then all of a sudden your vision will cut out and you'll just be kind of in like this limbo, like in between waking and sleep. Usually you're aware of your dream body, so you have a lot of physical sensation. You're just blind.
It sucks. Unless you know what to do with it. It sucks.
But the reason I wanted to talk about it is because I used to just assume that I was about to wake up. Okay, the dream is fading now. I'm waking up.
And we know,
so
we all know what happens when you assume something's going to happen.
Right.
You wake up. If you assume that you're going to wake up, you end up waking up.
Oh, I was thinking you make an ass out of you and me. But anyway, yeah. Yeah, if you assume you're going to wake up, you might wake up, or you might have a false awakening, which can be just as bad, or worse. But, so I've decided that, and I've noticed this a lot from my non-lucid dreams, is that it's just a scene change. Or that's the way you can treat it.
I like that. I like thinking like that.
Yeah, it does not mean that you are waking up.
It's a timeout. It's a commercial.
It might be that you're close to waking up,
right,
but it doesn't necessarily mean you're waking up.
I like.
And actually, oh, go ahead.
No, I'm sorry. I was just gonna say I never thought about that. Like that anyway. That's a great way to think about it. Okay, it's time to take a time out. That's cool. I'm just waiting for the next scene.
Right.
That's cool.
Or you can treat it as a way to teleport.
Beautiful.
Say, okay, this scene's done. Now I want to decide where the next scene's going to be.
Even better, dude. That's cool.
But so,
have you done that, Mike? Have you teleported through the void?
I'm thinking. Yes, I have. I wasn't thinking of it quite the way I do now, but yeah. I've done it a few times. I'm a big Doctor Who fan. I don't know if you've heard of that, David.
Doctor Who?
Yeah. Have you heard of it?
No.
Or not?
No,
okay.
I don't watch TV.
It's a British sci-fi show.
What then?
Yeah.
British.
It's bloody awesome.
Bloody great then, mate. What?
Cheeky little bugger.
Cheeky.
Okay. Enough of the stereotypes. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, sorry about that, you fucking wanks. You fucking wanks. All right. Sorry, Mike.
Anyway,
Go ahead.
I really wanted to have a Doctor Who dream where I entered the TARDIS. That's his mode of transportation through space and time. So I hit the void, and so like all your physical sensations are there. So what I've learned to do is decide, okay, what part of the area that I want to be in is going to be the most prominent. Okay, so I'm thinking, all right, there's railing inside the TARDIS. So I just reach out while I'm in the void and start feeling for railing. Okay, and like almost immediately I feel some railing, and I just keep feeling and feeling. And while I do that, I expect to see something. I expect to see the area that I want to be in. It's a lot like peering into the darkness. Like, say you're outside and it was a sunny day, and you come into a dark basement or something, and it's that sudden change from bright to dim. So, your vision's all cloudy and it's really, real dark, but the more time you give it, and the more you try to see into that darkness, it kind of clears up.
Okay.
So that's kind of the way I treat it, and
So you just kind of
9 times out of 10, I'll start seeing again.
Okay, so you just kind of to wait for a sense, or wait for what you can feel. Am I saying that right? You're just kind of waiting. You're kind of
say that if you wait too much, you're likely to have a false awakening.
perfect. I mean, for some people, that's perfect, right?
My last lucid dreaming, I waited and I had a false awakening, and it fooled me, so it was kind of a bad thing. But so like the TARDIS, I'm feeling the railing and expecting to see, and so I just focus on wanting to see and feeling that railing, and suddenly I was there in the center console thing of the TARDIS, and it turned into a nice dream. But if you wanted to go, like, say, the beach,
Imagine
get on your hands and knees and start feeling for the sand.
Absolutely.
And sooner or later, you'll have sand in your hands, and then this whole dream will just kind of fill itself in.
Cool. Well, I had sort of a similar dream where I was trying to feel the floor with my feet, because you told me when I started feeling vibrations when I was doing a wild, not getting off subject though, I was in a lucid dream, and then I ended up in the void, and I remembered what you said, Mike, and you said, just imagine your feet touching the floor. Imagine your feet, you feel the carpet, you feel this, you feel that. Well, I started to do that. I said, well, I'm in the void. I know I'm laying in my bed right now. I'm in the void. I don't want to wake up. So just focus on the floor, my feet touching the floor. Well, when I did that, my body slowly sat up from where I was laying, and I slid forward, and I started to creep up to stand up, and I'm kind of still sliding, and I just keep sliding, and I'm trying to get my feet on the floor. I got one on the floor, and then my left foot's caught on something. What is it? The blankets. My foot can't...
Classic.
Yeah, classic. My foot can't come off the damn blankets, and I'm getting so frustrated. Well, you know what happens. I frickin' wake up. And
right.
I'm not angry about it or anything. I'm just happy I had a lucid dream, but I was like, damn it, it almost worked. And I was so excited about it. I couldn't wait to tell you it. But yeah, man, I was just focusing, like you said, hands and knees. Imagine what you're doing, and I just kept focusing on my feet touching the carpet, and I just kept getting caught up, just couldn't do it,
Yeah.
But it definitely helped. It definitely helped visualizing and focusing on something, a goal, when you're in the void.
And I've dealt with blindness so much that this is what works for me, so hopefully it works for other people too. But by the way, I did tell you how to get over the blanket thing, right?
I think you did, but I may have forgot. Please share.
Ignore it.
It's not even there, is it?
Nope. Just walk away. Don't even think about it. It'll vanish.
Cool. Perfect.
So, like, it's the emotion aspect. I think you put emotion into that. You're fighting it. You're pissed off. It's gonna get worse. Just be mellow. Just like whatevs. Walk off.
Whatevs. You're just a blankie. I don't want no part of you. I had another one of my first few experiences with the void. Actually, it was one of my first few experiences with hyperzine. When I was laying down, I took a nap. I took some hyperzine. I was laying there. I had a nice lucid dream. It was beautiful. There was pine trees in the back. My dog Odin was trampling through the snow. It was like a foot of snow, and he kept rocking his body up and down, heading towards the pine trees. And I was like, oh, wow, this is an amazing lucid dream. I love the visual aspects of it. Boom, in the void. Now, I don't know if I was laying on my back or my stomach in the bed, but I'm in the void, and I recalled one of your dreams of reaching out for something while you're in the void. And it was the one where you're reaching out and you grab something squishy, whatever. And so I'm trying to feel around. I keep feeling around, and next thing I know, I'm sliding off the bed, and I start questioning myself. Okay, I'm blind right now, but I'm sliding off my bed. Is this real, or am I lucid still? What's going on? And I said, well, look, it doesn't matter. I'm not going to get hurt. I'm only a foot from the floor. I'm not on some tall bed. So I said, well, just go with it. I'm lucid still. Just keep feeling for the floor. Well, I touched the floor, and I slid down onto the floor. Still blind, still can't do anything. I feel the floor. I'm starting to touch the floor, and I wake up again. I'm not as experienced as most, but I'm glad I at least got to that next part where I can touch and feel and bring my senses into the dream. But once again, I freaking woke up.
Yeah, and that'll happen a lot. It even happens to me now. But sometimes some dreams are super long, some are super small. But yeah, that other part of it is, like, say you do actually wake up. Okay, don't move. Focus on relaxing your body. Keep a clear mind. Just wait. You are highly likely to dream exit induce lucid dream and just jump right back in. So, and there's been times where that turns into a long chain of wake sleep, but you can usually take advantage of that. Just keep riding the wave.
Oh yeah. The void sucks, but it doesn't have to. Just keep.
It can be your friend as well.
Coddle it, nurse it, give it a nipple, let it suck. I mean,
it's just another experience of lucid dreaming.
Absolutely.
That reminds me, I read a paper by Stephen LaBerge.
Oh,
called
who's Stephen?
Variety.
Who the hell's Stephen LaBerge?
Some dude that has something to do with lucid dreaming.
He's a freaking quack, I'm sure. But anyway, I'm just kidding. We love you, Stephen. If you're listening, we love you.
He's the American god of lucid dreaming.
Absolutely.
I think the British have their own guy that they say proved it first, but whatever.
Screw them. I'm just kidding. We love you too.
But he wrote a paper called Varieties of Lucid Dream Experience, and he talks a lot about the void experience and how to deal with it and whatnot, and it actually kind of validated a lot of my experiences and techniques, so it was a pretty good read for me. Yeah. Just a quick Google search of that, you'll find it. It's interesting. Everybody should read it. But he, one thing that I thought was interesting, he said that, it's really unknown why the void experience happens, but he thinks it's related to a natural transition to different REM states. And he said he thinks it goes from phasic REM to tonic REM, which I had never heard of tonic REM before. I still don't quite understand it. If somebody can explain it to a retard like me, that would be awesome. But it basically is just, he thinks maybe it's just another REM state that you're, naturally transitioning to and kind of fighting against. But Yeah, so it's normal for it to happen, basically.
Right. Yeah, you're no different than everybody else. We all experience it. It's gonna be okay.
But yeah, I mean, it can be a fun little toy to play with. So,
Absolutely.
like when you're in the void and the void kind of overtakes you, sometimes it can be white, sometimes it can be black.
Yes.
It's all the same. I've had the white. It's more rare, but I was gonna say any like stabilization technique will also help you through that void period. If you don't quite know what to do or how to change your dream scene or how to deal or whatever, just pick a stabilization technique, and that usually helps.
Absolutely.
So it's kind of a stabilization thing too.
You know what's great about doing these podcasts? The last one we did, I got lucid, that night? Ugh. I'm hoping to God I get lucid tonight, baby.
Believe it, brother.
Hell yeah, I do.
Believe.
You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to fly on over to your house. I'm going to high-five you.
Okay.
That's what I'm going to fucking do. Believe it.
So like a shared dream tonight?
If you want. But I
was thinking about staying up all night and playing Oblivion, but
dude, you got me. Every time you talk about Oblivion, I'm thinking about downloading Morrowind, the original, on the computer and playing the shit out of it. I just wish it was multiplayer, so I could cut you so bad.
They have Skyrim online now, but I heard it was not that great. But anyway,
yeah, they're coming out with a new one. Instead of Skyrim, they're gonna call it Rimjob.
Dude. That'll be epic.
Oh God. I'm so leveling up right now. Feels so good.
Yeah.
So
I think I capped out, but
Morrowind, oh God, we're gonna start talking about video games. Let's not get off track. We're gonna have that's a whole other podcast, Mike.
Well,
I'm blaming this.
I was gonna say that kind of reminded me. They say, like, people that play video games have a higher success rate of lucid dreaming and dream control. But whatever.
Well, I mean, we could go into that. It's clearly, it helps your imagination. I mean, the more you read about sci-fi, the more you have to imagine what the book you're reading is in your head. That's going to help you. The more you watch or see anything that's not what you see on a daily basis, makes you think, it makes you imagine. And that's what it takes to help wild or wake-induced lucid dream. You need to imagine and focus and feel and use your senses while you're laying there still. What do you hear? What do you want to hear in the dream that you're about to incubate? What do you want to see? You know, you have to use your imagination. So video games, I mean, I've had plenty of dreams about Oblivion and things like that, but regardless,
it'll really boost your dreaming.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And I've even had, like, a lot of them were non-lucid dreams, but I've had some lucid dreams where they were really kind of video gamey, and like my actual dream control, I felt the controller in my hand while I was controlling the dream.
Really?
So it was like I was playing a video game.
That's cool. That's cool.
It's mostly non-lucid dreams, but
yeah. I've had quite a few.
It'd be something to try.
Getting attacked by zombies, and then I go into straight Call of Duty mode where I'm like trying to fend them off with with the guns that are in the video games and yada yada. Oh yeah.
Yeah. I need to try to incubate a lucid dream like that sometime. It'd be pretty cool.
Well, Mike, do you think we should go in depth anymore with the void? Do you think we've covered a lot of it? I mean, actually, I have one more story I'd like to share.
Okay.
This was actually really different. This was probably my second experience with the void, because I haven't had many, not nearly as many as you have, Mike, but I had this one. It was really interesting. There was some things going on outside, and I don't recall how I became lucid, but I was lucid, okay? And I'm going inside this store, this gas station, and as I walk in, I start to lose my vision. Things start to go blurry. And I ignore it, even though now that I'm a little bit more experienced, what I would have done was rub my hands or focused on a key object and counted, yada yada. What happened to me was it started to go blurry, so I just relaxed and I just took my time. And there was people coming into the store. But even though I was lucid, I was still, for some reason, afraid because I was losing my vision. I didn't know who they were good or bad, if they were trying to rob the store. All these thoughts were flying through my head. So I lost my vision completely, and I decided that I was a cardboard cutout. So I held as still as I could, and I'm completely blind, but I still could hear everything that was going on. And I held as still as I could, and I was just this cardboard cutout. I looked just like I was. I couldn't see what I looked like, but I knew for a fact that I was who I was, and I was just this cardboard cutout, and I couldn't see anything. And after the conversation was over, and obviously because my expectation took over, the guy robbed the store and he left, and then I woke up, probably false awakening, if I remember correctly, and then I actually woke up in real life. But it was very, very odd, because usually the void for me, with my limited experience, is there's no senses. There's nothing going on until I try to get back into another dream by feel, touch, hear, sense, whatever. But I lost my sight, but I still had my hearing. I could still hear what was going on, but it was almost scary, like previous when I was talking about the shower experience, when I got a little freaked out when I had no vision. So as a cardboard cutout just standing there and everything's going on, I still got a little intimidated by what was going on, and I woke up.
It's really interesting. Did you said did you feel flat? Or you just felt...
I didn't feel anything. I just, in my head, I knew I was a cardboard cutout. And I said, all I have to do is hold as still as I can. And that's what it was. I just held as still as I could. I was in the dark, and I didn't know what I looked like, but I knew where I was standing, and I knew...
So you were just observing.
Yeah, by hearing, with my ears. That's the only way I was observing.
That's still pretty cool.
It was different, man. It was really different. It was one of my first experiences with the void, and I actually thought I did pretty well, except for my heart was still racing because I knew they were about to rob this place, and I couldn't do nothing about it because I was stuck as a cardboard cutout.
But you were lucid.
But I was lucid. Yep.
So you were caught up in the emotion.
Yes.
But yeah, I've had those too. It's a weird. It's a dream, but yet you're like, oh no, this over here is happening.
Yeah. Absolutely.
It kind of reminds me, like, speaking of weird experiences, there's only been twice that I can think of, but I've had like 2 dreams at the same time, like at least like it's visual and auditory. So I was like having like this OBE experience, transitioning out of bed, and at the same time I was having a dream about work. So I was like, it's bizarre. It's hard to explain, but I was having literally 2 dreams at the same time.
That's the craziest thing I've ever heard, Mike.
And it didn't last long. I was overwhelmed. It was hard to like hold both of those. I suppose I could have picked one, but
now were you lucid?
I was just like,
were you lucid?
Yeah.
No shit.
Yeah. It was bizarre.
You were consciously aware while you were having...
At the same time, like during the day, you're doing like a menial task or whatever, and you're kind of daydreaming. So like you're seeing what you're doing, yet you're also having this visual stuff going on in your mind. So it was a bit like that, but it was still really weird.
Wow, man. That is really different. I mean, trying to keep your mind on 2 tasks in reality is pretty tough. Doing it while you're dreaming and lucid, that's got to be a task.
It was interesting. I kind of wished I could do it again, but kind of not too.
That deserves some wings, Ophelia Blue. He needs some wings.
Yeah, apparently it's happened to other people, but it was new to me. And that was just recent-ish, I guess. Well, so we had a few other things, I guess, we wanted to squeeze in. That article that has come out.
Oh my goodness, yes.
Some new technology, I guess. Well, semi-new technology.
I don't know. I mean, you're 100% believing this? Is this true?
I think it's legit. I actually saw a thread about it on Dreamviews that I thought was a little bit.
I was looking the other
No,
day.
no, it was the same day. I thought it was older, but it was the same day.
I can't. If this is true, I'm buying an EKG machine. It's time to fill you folks in. It says here that results showed that when inexperienced dreamers were zapped with a current of 40 hertz, 77% of the time these participants reported having were described as lucid dreams. So they literally laid these people down, and some of these people didn't.
They were inexperienced lucid dreamers.
Some of them didn't even know what lucid dreaming was, and they would zap them after, I imagine, 4 to 6 hours of sleep. When they were in REM sleep, is what it says.
I think they were monitoring the REM.
Right,
yeah.
Absolutely. When rapid eye movements started to take place after a certain amount of time, they would zap them with 40 hertz. Now, whether they knew about lucid dreaming or they didn't know about lucid dreaming, they described their lucid dreams as they were really excited and they realized that they were dreaming. And that obviously is the definition of lucid dreaming. But for people that aren't used to lucid dreaming or don't know about lucid dreaming, that's amazing. You know, right here it says, wow, all of a sudden I knew this was a dream while I was dreaming. I mean, that's amazing. And if this is true, I'm about to go buy an EKG machine. Sweetheart, after 4 to 6 hours of sleep, if you see my eyes moving, you zap me, okay? You zap me good. I want a lucid dream every night. And at least, if it's 77% of the time, that means every other night at least I'll be lucid, you know? So I think if this study is true, which I think it's too new to just come out and say, this is true, this is the new thing, you know, there is going to be something that somebody's going to make that's not just a blink in your eyes that LaBerge made, a blink in your eyes that says, okay, you're in REM sleep. If you see red flashing, no matter what it's from, then you know to do a reality check. Now it's, boom, all of a sudden, it activates, and you know that you're dreaming? Wow.
Yeah, it activates that part of your brain.
Yeah.
You don't even have to try. That's where I'm like, holy shit,
Right.
I want one.
Bingo!
Because let's face it, it's fucking hard work to get lucid sometimes. And
That's amazing.
if I had like a magic button, I'm all about it. I'm on it.
Yeah, it says here that the study researcher Dr. John Allen Hobson, a psychiatrist and longtime sleep researcher at Harvard University, he even thought, I never thought this would work, but it looks like it does. So yeah, it from what I've read, the few different things that I've read, they're not trying to sell anything. So that's the best part. That's what makes me believe.
Yeah, it's pure science.
Yeah, it's just science. It's studies that they've done, and they're not trying to sell anything. They're not trying to get anybody. They're not saying, "Hey, believe this for this reason." You know, they placed electrodes on scalps of 27 participants. Wow, I'm having a hard time. Who were not lucid dreamers to stimulate the frontal cortex and recreate the gamma wave activity that has been seen in lucid dreamers. And they did this over 4 nights, 30-second bolts of electricity currents in participants' scalps, 2 minutes after the participants had entered the dreaming states of sleep. And they ranged it from 2 hertz to 100 hertz, but obviously 40 hertz is what they found to be the best stimulus. I'm sure it's different for everybody, but geez, zap me! I want to be lucid tonight. What was that? I told Mike.
Tell him about that text.
Yeah,
oh my god, that was so funny.
I said, well, Mike, I just read this. If it's true, I'm having the old lady get her taser out, and she's going to zap me in the forehead tonight. He goes, well, you might want to make sure it's at 40 hertz. I wake up like, what the fuck, woman? Why did you do that?
That would be the worst way to wake
Right,
up.
but actually, it'd be hilarious. It's like, it's a false awakening, you know, like, and I'm yelling
Oh
at
shit,
her.
yeah.
But whatever. But yeah, I'm glad you remember to bring that up, man. But yeah, you guys can look this up, foxnews.com, or if you search in Google, Fox News brain zaps lucid dreaming, and it'll come right up. And there's a couple different things that pop up on Google here. By NBC News, News Science, business news. It's all over. It went crazy. So if you haven't heard about it, and we're the first people to tell you, it's something to get excited about. It really is. Because it's storming. It's going all views.com. I don't want to sell all these guys' .coms out, but check it out. Email us. Lucid the number 4, Lucid For Life at mail.com. Let us know what you think. Let us know what we might, or you might, or somebody might be able to do to take this to the next step. What can be sitting next to your bed instead of a fan, or of course I need my fan, but just something new to set next to your bed that you put on your head and you set instead of alarm clock for wake back to bed. You set this machine to give you this 40 hertz zap so you become lucid every night. And then next thing you know, while you're sleeping every night, you're having a good old time doing whatever the hell you want, Let us know. We want to know your thoughts about this because it gets me excited. It gets me so excited.
By the way, I don't think I told you, but I posted that link on the Facebook page, and I kind of had a little mini rant in there. I saw, a lot of the social sites where this was mentioned, there was always somebody going, well, you don't need to be zapped. You just need patience and hard work and blah, 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 blah. I'm like, dude, fuck off.
Right.
It doesn't have to be hard work. That's just half the battle of lucid dreaming. That's just your gateway in. Everything else is you.
Yeah, well, you can.
It's not virtual reality. It's your mind.
Absolutely. Well,
that's just
you can lift.
Awesome help.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. We're getting really excited.
It's fine. I was done.
No,
if you want to know what I think, just go to Facebook. Whatever.
Just to add to your rant though, because I'm with you 100%. I'm gonna go to the gym and I'm gonna lift weights all day. But I'm not gonna eat any protein to help me build because my body does it naturally. I'll get No, I'm going to eat more chicken because I want to gain more muscle mass. I'm going to zap myself with 40 hertz because it doesn't hurt my body and it helps me do what I love to do. So why buy those new sneakers with a shock absorber to help you take the impact on your joints because you love to run? No, because I'm going to run barefoot in order to say it's natural to run barefoot? No. Everybody does something that helps stimulate or help. It's a new day and age, ladies and gentlemen. We're in 2014, and we're going to do what we want to do in order to succeed in life one way or another. So if Lucid For Life is what we do, we're going to do what we need to do to become lucid.
Beautifully said.
Thank you.
That's exactly what I was getting at.
Thank you.
You
should see my smile.
Yeah. I do see your smile. But no, it's some people, when it comes to dieting, some people, they want to do it by sheer willpower and calorie counting and blah, blah, blah. And other people want to take the diet pill. I'm going to take the diet pill, At least for lucid dreaming.
Right.
Because I run into that with lucid dreaming supplements as well. That's why it's kind of okay. Enough. If you want to do it your way, whatever, let us have our fun.
If you want to do it your way, go to Burger King.
Yeah. Anyway, shoot.
Well, you want to move on to our good friend Brent's dream characters? He wanted to hear a little bit about dream characters. We need to talk a little bit about them.
Well, I was going to mention Filled, but we can say that for later, I guess.
Okay. Wherever you want to go, Mike.
I don't really like the technique, but let's talk about let's do what Brent wants to do.
Okay.
It's all about you guys.
All right, Brent. Here we go. You ready for the dream characters? Give me a hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. All right, well, I'm going to tell you what. I've read a lot about dream characters, and it's crazy what they do say and what they don't say in my case. But from everybody's perspective, it seems to be about the same in the beginning. In the beginning, it seems like it's so odd. It's so awkward, and a lot of them will deny that you're lucid or that they're in a dream. They almost seem offended, you know. Now I have limited experience when it comes to dream characters because I don't actively seek out dream characters. Mainly because of what I read when it comes to lucid dreaming. A lot of people getting the same reactions. I try not to deal with them. I try to avoid sex in my lucid dreaming. I try to avoid dream characters all in all, really. Except for my one goal that I haven't achieved yet, and that's finding a dream guide. You know, I want to see who my dream guide would be, yada yada, whatever. But I have an experience I would like to share, and my grandma, she's the one who raised me. She is a Bible thumper. No offense to anybody, it's a good thing. She's a Bible thumper and a lover of humankind. She would never do anything wrong. If she did, don't tell me because I love her to death. But in my dream, she was a little different. Actually, a lot different. This was a non-lucid dream. And I was in my hometown, Luna Pier, where I was raised. And my grandma and I and a group of other people were swimming, almost like in a marathon, down the main road. But it was like the lake. Okay, now Luna Pier is surrounded by water. I'm sure that's why it had a lot to do with water. But I was swimming. And I didn't want to get in front and beat everybody because my grandma was swimming with us. Now, she's an older lady, obviously. She's my grandma. And she was swimming in front of me. And I decided I'm going to stay back and make sure my grandma's okay. Well, we only made it about halfway. And my grandma climbs out. And she goes into some house, some neighbor's house, okay, off the road that was flooded by water for whatever reason. And she goes in there and she just starts tearing shit apart. Just slamming shit around like she's a 16-year-old angry, pissed off girl. And just tearing through somebody's house. And I don't know whose this house this is. And I don't want to get in her way because, I mean, she's that violent. And she is just tearing shit up. And it's nuts because it's obviously nothing like my or hopefully any other normal grandma would be. But I just stood back and watched. I was afraid to get in her way. And after she left and she stormed off, I had to apologize to the people saying, hey, I don't know what her problem is. She doesn't act like this. And obviously it should have been a lucid dreaming cue to do a reality check. But the time had passed. But I apologized to him. You know, I'm sorry. My grandma doesn't usually act like this. I don't know what came over her. And that's one of many, many different dream character stories that I've read online. It's just, sometimes it gets crazy, you know. But Mike, I'm sure you've had some pretty cool dream character stories for us.
Yeah, the story I kind of wanted to talk about was back April 20th. I guess it was kind of when the email suggestion was still in my mind. But I kind of trolled on some DCs. It was pretty funny. So the dream started off, it was kind of weird, but I was driving in my car from like some kind of event with my family, and there's this odd hiccup in a dream where the tire gets stuck in like some tree roots that are exposed in the ground. And then like someone randomly starts giving a speech, and like then this car passes around us and something triggers lucidity. I think I was trying to get lucid prior to that. It was like after I wake back to bed. So I kind of remember that I was trying to get lucid. And I go, okay, this is a dream. So I always enjoy driving vehicles in lucid dreams because there's no rules. So I start driving really fast, and like I come up behind this car and I like swerve around it and just blow through the intersection. And then I kind of realize that I'm like in my neighborhood where I live. And so I just go home, and then like, I think it was kind of like a skip between me turning down my street to being at the door. And so I'm like at the front door and it's locked. And like, I guess the first thing I think of was, oh, I'll just put a key in. So I kind of like do the blind summon thing. And like, I don't even feel the key. I'm just imagining that it's in my hand. And I just put it in a general direction of the doorknob. And the door opens, so I'm like, ah, cool. So I go inside, and there's like all these freaking kittens in my house, and like I spent some time playing with them because it's just weird. And then my family starts coming in the house, so I sit down on the couch, and like I guess I sort of blind summon all these balls. It looks like the little toy balls my son plays with, and I just start pelting people in the face with them. And, like, most of them missed. I don't know what was wrong with my throwing arm in my dream, but most of them missed, and I don't know, their reactions were cracking me up. And like the last person that comes in is my dad, and he goes, "Son, you don't have to do that. How about I punch you in the balls?" And I'm like, I just started freaking laughing. I'm like, that is so great. I'm like, I go, go ahead. It won't even hurt. And so like, he literally comes up and punches me in the balls, and like when he does, it's like an uppercut in my balls, and like the dream fades to almost like a void situation, and I wake up. No, there was no sensation. God. I think I already set myself up for like I'm invincible, you know. But yeah, some reason it woke me up when it happened, but it was great because my dad would never ever say that.
Oh, that's great, dude. That's great. I'm gonna punch you in the balls. Like, wait, hold on.
I've been trolling on some people hard lately, though. That was a pretty good one, but I think one time, I don't know, I get really, like, super ego guy, you know, like, whatever. I just start screwing with people, but, yeah, I don't know why it's fun. It's really fun doing that stuff. You can't do that in real life.
Well, no. But, you know, you do what you want in your dreams. It's your dreams. I don't care what you're doing, Mike. As long as you share it with me. But, you know, mostly I get reactions of people just staring at me with their mouths open, and they don't say a word. It's actually
you know what? I had that the other night.
It's kind of creepy, actually. You know, it's like it's almost like sickening. Like the way they look at me, it makes me feel like a kid again or something. I don't know.
Oh.
It really puts me down, and I've had a couple of different.
Like they're judging you, or?
Well, almost like they're numb and they don't have a thought in their mind.
Yeah. I don't mean to cut you off.
No, please,
but
I want to hear.
I've noticed like the majority of my dream characters when I become lucid, like they might be lively and talkative and like just like they almost like they would be in like waking life, but then like once I become lucid, they're like brain dead.
Yeah, brain dead,
catatonic.
Brain dead's the perfect way to put that.
Yeah. Me and they're almost like they're extras. They're just there. They're just. I don't know. I think maybe it's like a shift of consciousness, so it's not so much about your dream characters. Now it's all of a sudden about you. So I think that's what a lot of it is. But you know, I have put some effort into it, and like, I have like, you know, kind of put some emotion into like the other person, and they seem to like liven up sometimes if you interact with them enough. But yeah, that's bizarre. It is a little creepy.
It is a little creepy, yeah. What I wanted to share just for a quick second, Mike. And there's two stories, and one's just gonna be kind of goofy, but the other one that I'm gonna share, I'm only gonna share because if anybody else had these kind of dreams, I want them to be able to relate to it. It's gonna go kind of deep, but just bear with me here. Now, the first one, I was lucid. I was driving a car. I thought it was pretty cool. But what happened was I ran over this girl's leg, and the way she looked at me was her mouth was open, and she just stared at me. There was no ouch. She was not in pain. I was lucid, and I was expecting something from her. And it made me sick in my stomach because she didn't give me a reaction, whether it was ouch and pain or, hey, I'm just fine. She just looked at me in some kind of, like you said, brain dead. She didn't know what to say or do, and it was just like, I kind of was drawn back by it. I didn't know what to say. I didn't know how to react to somebody who was just staring at me like, what did you just do to me? Now, the other one I'm going to share, just nobody judge me. We're all friends here. But I was non-lucid, and for some reason, I held my son out. He was very young. and somebody shot him, and he was laying there in pieces on this picnic table. And there was about 6 people, and they all just were looking at me like, it was almost like, not necessarily like, what'd you just do? It was just like, after it happened, everybody around me went brain dead. And everybody around me just stared. There was no emotion or reaction out of anybody. All of a sudden, these people were zombies, and not the type that eat you or anything like that. They were just, like you said, it was a great way to put it. They were all just brain dead. Everybody was lively, carrying on, going on, doing their thing, and then boom. My son's laying there. I feel nauseous to my stomach over what just happened in a non-lucid dream, and I woke up feeling that same feeling. Of course, nobody wants to see that happen to their son. But waking up feeling like that, I had not just the burnt image of my son laying there on the picnic table, but I had an image of everybody staring at me with their jaw open and their brain dead stare at me, you know? And it's just one of those things that's like, wow, you know, where the hell did that come from? Dream characters just can be so weird sometimes, you know?
Yeah, that is pretty weird. I don't know. I mean, I guess they're just a part of you, some aspect of your subconscious.
When I wake up from something that really hurts me, I almost don't record it, but then I do after I come to it, and I say, no, David, that was just a dream. Record it. It was just a dream. Record it. And then I say, well, I'm not going to share it with anybody. And then I say, you know what? I want other people to be able to relate to this. Don't wake up feeling like shit. A dream's a dream. You're going to feel weird sometimes. Just, you know.
You can't always control what you dream, so
you can't.
Even when you're lucid.
And that's why me and my fiance, we share everything from sexual dreams to fun dreams, whatever. Well, I guess sexual dreams are fun dreams, but and we share them with each other. As long as you're not lucid, seeking out your ex to have some fun, we're okay. You know, you can be, you know, my old lady will share a dream with me, and I'll ask her, well, did you get some? And she'll smile and say, well, yeah, you know, or whatever, you know, and because I would want her to feel the same way. So just keep in mind, folks, that dreams are dreams, and sometimes they're going to be crazy. Sometimes, you know, you're going to get lucid. If you get lucky, you're going to get lucid. Just keep on keeping on.
Well, speaking of the sexual aspect, I've had more than I'd like to admit of lucid sex dreams, not with my wife, but my defense is you're not always yourself when you're lucid. You're still dealing with your dreaming mind, and sometimes these bitches throw themselves at me, and I can't help it. You know, this is what's gonna happen is gonna happen.
I can't help if I'm sexy.
I try. God damn, I try to avoid that, but
it's hard though.
It has happened.
It's hard though, especially because during REM sleep you have more blood flow, and when it goes to places that
right. Oh yeah, you naturally. Men and women naturally have erections during REM sleep, and I honestly believe that's 90% of it. It's like, my dick's hard and I'm lucid dreaming. What do you think's gonna happen? You know?
I tell you what, I woke up next to my old lady having an erection.
TMI. Oh my.
No, actually, it brings up a funny point. The other night, I had a dream that I was trying to have sexual intercourse with these two good-looking women. Actually, they weren't very good looking, but I didn't give a shit. But I woke up from that dream, and I instantly thought to myself, I need to masturbate. And then I was like, oh, you know what? I'm too tired to masturbate. And I'm too tired to record this dream. I'll remember it. And I said, nope. I told myself, the last time I say, I'll remember it, get your ass up and record that dream. So I did. I recorded the dream. I went back to bed. Forgot about masturbating. I was too tired. I was way too tired.
Shit.
But, yeah, anyway, TMI.
That's good stuff.
But,
yeah. Well, okay, yeah. Well, this is an explicit podcast, so
we're allowed to say fuck.
I do want to mention, maybe it's a little personal, but
Please.
I had an interesting experience. I think it was might have been Oh, by the way, I got lucid when I went camping for my birthday. First time ever while
hell
camping
yeah.
or away from the house. It was really awesome.
Hell yeah.
I had 2 that night. I guess it must have been a light sleep, but I think that was a night that I think it was the vampire dream, which I need to tell you about that one because we don't have time right now, but that was weird. But anyway, so I had, this woman was throwing herself at me, but
Skank.
I literally thought I was jizzing my pants.
Oh yeah. Tell him.
And I don't know if it was that one or another one. Anyway. And so when I woke up, I'm like, I gotta deal with a mess. Whatever. But totally clean.
That's awesome.
So that whole orgasmic experience was literally just dream sensation.
Oh, that's amazing.
Which makes sense because there's been so many like physical things that happen, especially when I'm in sleep paralysis. Like I think I'm doing X, Y, and Z, and really I haven't moved a muscle. So it was like kind of like, oh, well, yeah, that makes sense. But I was relieved too, by the way, because I didn't have to deal with that. Because I'm 34 years old, I should not be having wet dreams. But
Right.
I guess it happens.
Oh man, wet dreams are fucking awesome though. I've only had 2 in my total life. Total.
What?
I swear, 2. I started jerking off at a young age. TMI. TMI alert. All right. Anyway, but I'm gonna have to say.
That's a good place to.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, I started jerking off at a young age. Thank you for listening to Lucid for Life. We'll see you next time. Have a nice night and sweet dreams, ladies and gentlemen.
Was that legit?
That was legit. That was legit, dude. I love it.
What?
I'm hitting stop.
Oh, well, no. I wanted.
Oh, sorry.
I was wanting to say, where's it at? Yes. Oh, we gave out the email address a while ago. lucidforlife@mail.com. That's lucid, the number 4 life. Also, we are on, depending on how you found us, we are on YouTube, Facebook, obviously, iTunes, and so if you just search for Lucid for Life in any of those. Also, I'm pretty active on dreamviews.com. I'm Xanos, so if you want to hit me up there, somehow somebody's already found me, but whatever. So there it is.
Hell yeah.
I just want to throw that in.
Hell yeah. Perfect.
Anyway, I've enjoyed this podcast.
I did. I had fun.
I think this is gonna be our best one.
Hell yeah, me too, buddy.
Anyway, stay lucid.